They say that timing is everything. If you're in the right place at the right time, it could change your life forever. Although I do believe in that, I also believe that there's one additional element that needs to be taken into account, and that is action. You have to know what to do and when to do it in order for the opportunity not to pass by. Hello, my friends. I'm the DeFi Doctor. I'm a coach here at Decentralized Masters. It's an educational platform that caters to students' needs of every skill level. We teach fundamentals all the way up to advanced techniques on how to survive and thrive on the blockchain and specifically in decentralized finance. I know that time is of the essence to us all these days. So on that note, I wanted to start our lesson on staking stablecoins. Staking allows you to still earn yields, but in a much more safer way without the direct exposure of any type of volatility or downward price action. So on that note, if you're a beginner or if you just want to learn a little bit more of someone else's techniques of finding the best yields for stablecoins, stick around and let's start the lesson. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to my desktop. So as I said before, today's lesson will be about staking our stablecoins and finding the best yields possible on the blockchain to do so. So the first thing that we have to realize is that if you have your funds on a centralized exchange, then you have to be prepared to actually send it to the blockchain. Centralized exchanges can be seen as gateways. You have to go through a centralized exchange to begin with, but once you have your funds on the centralized exchange, you have to come up with a strategy on sending your funds onto the blockchain. Now, which blockchain should we send our funds to? Well, there's many blockchains, and each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, the biggest one is Ethereum. Other blockchains that have been developed afterwards, they also have massive advantages, not only of the types of dApps that are available to users, but as well, much more controlled and efficient gas fees. Gas fees are basically anytime you interact using your wallet on the blockchain, you have to pay a certain fee in order for that transaction to be processed. So other blockchains are much cheaper at this point in time compared to Ethereum. So I would recommend the first step to be, when looking for stablecoin opportunities, is to open up CoinDix. Now, CoinDix, as funny as the name sounds, is actually a dollar-weighted average of different components on the S&P 500. That's why this is kind of paying homage to that concept, but using the blockchain. So the way I see it, it's basically a website that aggregates information from the blockchain, from all blockchains, and presents it in a very nice, clean, cohesive way where we can filter out different blockchains that we want to look at and, of course, organize them depending on different criteria. So, for example, rewards or TVL, the total value locked, or specific protocols that we only want to see. It's all at your fingertips here. I would recommend that you actually sign up for an account here because you will get additional information given to you if you sign up and log in. So the first thing that we want to do is obviously go to CoinDix, and right here we have all vaults, LP stakes, single stakes, no impermanent loss, and stablecoin. So stablecoins are basically cryptocurrencies that are pegged one-to-one to the American dollar. So stablecoins are by default the safest types of digital currencies that you can hold on to. They are pegged to the American dollar, so that means there is no volatility or exposure of increasing or decreasing its value. It's always $1. So once we go here on CoinDix, it always defaults to all vaults. I would definitely recommend that we click on stablecoin first, and here we can see the types of rewards. If you click on the titles of base APY, that will give you organized way of seeing what the highest rewards are down to the lowest rewards. You do have a general APY here on the right side in yellow, but I would be a little bit more careful with those numbers. The reasons why is that different protocols as well reward you with their own native token, their own additional reward that they give you. So if you stake, let's say USDC in one of these protocols, the base APY means that you will be rewarded within that same currency or within the same token that you are staking or freezing in that protocol. So in this case, we have USDC that we will be rewarded on. So 26.78% is what we would be rewarded in USDC. But if we skim down, sometimes the protocols additionally give a little bit more of their own token as a reward. So as we sort through our stablecoins using our base APY, we then come upon different types of options for ourselves to actually stake our stablecoins in. Some of them have additional assets or tokens that are related to our stablecoin. Others are single staked assets. So as we see here, USDC. And others have a combination of multiple stablecoins, as we see here, DAI and USDT. But if we look at different types of options, we can then investigate and decide whether it is safe to actually stake our stablecoin there. So for example, here we have USDC and EURS. EURS is supposed to emulate or peg its token to the euro. At the same time that we look at the different options, we can always investigate further the tokenomics or the price action or the history of any token. And I would definitely recommend using CoinMarketCap. So I have CoinMarketCap opened here. It's a fantastic website that basically gives you a rundown of everything that's happening on the blockchain and gives you lots of information and statistics that are available at your fingertips. But we are looking specifically at EURS. So that is what we will type in. We click on Stasis Euro, and we see here that there are quite a bit of fluctuations, but they're all kind of in the same territory. Now, mind you, this does not look too appealing to me because, so here there's giant spike downwards. I feel that that is a little bit of an indicator as a risk. We can look more on, get more information here on its live data. And as well, of course, we can go to its official website and find out more information on owners, development team, etc., what their plans are, what their roadmap is in the long run. But in general, this is the value that Stasis Euro holds. Could look like this coin is decreasing in value, but we should remember that the value of the euro in general these days is decreasing since the beginning of 2021, I would say. And this is what is shown here on this chart. Now, going back to CoinDix, it says that we can combine USDC and this EURS coin into creating an LP or a position that we're able to stake, and we would get a reward of 121% over 1 year. I kind of feel that this, at this point in time, since the euro is fluctuating quite a bit and the American dollar is quite stable, that it could cause an imbalance between our staking position, and I would rather not expose myself to that. If you see here under the protocol column, you have Uniswap, and then underneath it, it is Polygon. So Polygon is the actual blockchain that Uniswap, the protocol name, is on. So we look at favorable blockchains as well. As I said before, Ethereum is quite expensive, so even putting your funds on there could be a little bit costly, depending on how many funds, how much you're planning to actually send to the blockchain. But as well, any type of interaction will also be much more costly. FEI is a stablecoin as well. As we see here, this protocol is on the BNB chain, which is actually the Binance Smart Chain. And the protocol that we will be interacting with would be PancakeSwap. 47.54% I think is excellent. Fi is not a stable coin that is backed by real world assets or real dollars in a bank, but rather it is backed by other crypto assets. So algorithmically, it always props up its value in order to stay consistently pegged to $1 American. So let's look at CoinMarketCap and see if it has been stable in the past few months. And as we see here, okay, so it is 98.78. There are always small indifferences, but generally it hasn't had any extreme spikes. Sometimes you can actually make some money on the conversion of $1 American to Fi. Sometimes you will lose. It seems the majority of times you will lose a little bit of value. Remember, we're talking about pennies. This is how the stablecoin actually makes money. The corporation or the development team that's behind introducing a stablecoin makes quite a bit of money on the transfers and these small differences of value that are pegged to $1. Let's look at 3 months. So it has been consistently pegged to around $1 at all time. I like that. And let's check. It is on the Binance Smart Chain, so BNB chain as they also call it. And once again, the base APY is fantastic at 47.54%. So what we have to do, we have to find funds in our own wallet. And if our funds are on a different chain, we will bridge our funds. We will send our funds from one blockchain to another blockchain. And then once it's on the Binance Smart Chain, we will interact with PancakeSwap, and then we will actually stake our funds or create a liquidity pool and freeze our funds and gain those rewards. So let's start the action out by finding where our funds are. So I've already obviously made some strategy behind this lesson, and my funds at this point in time are on the Cronos chain. I have around $1,000 there that is just laying around and not being staked anywhere. And I would rather utilize those funds to the best of my ability, maximize the profit. As it's sitting in a bank account, you don't want to have it dormant. You want the money to work for you as well. So let us first go to a bridging dApp and use it in order to transfer funds from the Cronos blockchain to the Binance Smart Chain. So one of my favorite bridging dApps is Multichain. Multichain is extremely cheap, costs around 50 cents to move funds from one chain to another. Other chains are actually even cheaper than that. It has many, many chains that it works with, which is fantastic. Some dApps that are bridges are very limited to which chains you can actually transfer funds between. So this one has that advantage as well. And using my MetaMask, I've already logged into my MetaMask, of course, and I am on the Binance Smart Chain. So I will switch maybe to the Cronos mainnet, and there we are. I have some funds here, and I will be transferring this $999.5 onto the Binance Smart Chain. Remember, you always have to have funds in the native token of that blockchain in order to facilitate the fees or the gas fees that are necessary for the transaction. So here in this case, it would be Crow that I would need in order to move the funds from Cronos elsewhere. Let's connect our wallet. We connect. It will ask what type of wallet do we have. As you see, there are many, many, many wallets. We have MetaMask. MetaMask is giving us an error. Awkward. Probably just have to refresh or click next and connect, and there we are. We are on the Cronos mainnet. It already found our funds. As you see, if you click on the actual coin, you can choose which coins you want to actually transfer. We will choose USDC, and you can just simply click on balance up here for it to maximize the amount of dollars that it will be changing. Now, as you see here, it chose the Ethereum mainnet for us to transfer our funds to. The onboarding cost is actually $40. That's quite expensive if you ask me. Let's try a different blockchain, and the one that we've chosen was BNB Chain, so Binance Smart Chain. It used to be called BSC, now it's BNB, as it relates to their own native token a little bit more closely. And as we see here, instead of $40, we are paying half a dollar. We're paying 50 cents. Everything is shown to us here very clearly. And now what we have to do is, when you're participating in any type of transaction or signing off for any type of action using a dApp, you have to first approve the dApp to utilize your funds from your wallet. So the first step is to approve the USDC. We will be paying a small amount of gas for this transaction. And once you do it once, then it will be intact. So anytime in the future, if I want to once again send my USDC from the Cronos mainnet elsewhere, it will already have permission to do so. So let's just approve it. Now it's asking us to pay a small amount. So if you do encounter this and you're questioning how much is it going to cost and why is it going to cost this much, and do I have choices in sending my funds maybe in different methods? So yes, you do. You can have a general average market value of how much that transaction should cost, or you can click on market and then you can choose a slower method of sending your transaction, and it will cost you a little bit less. Or if you are really impatient, or there's an interaction that you need to have done as quickly as possible, then you can of course choose the more expensive option of interacting and pushing your transaction through. So it is quite a big difference. It's almost double, let's say 70% more expensive, but we're not in a hurry. We will go for the cheaper one. Now, how much does this cost? Well, 0.25 Crow is, well, let's double check. Prices fluctuate all the time. So once again, we'll go back to CoinMarketCap. We can go up to the top here. And one fantastic tool that I always use is under products, and that is Converter. You click on Converter and we type in 0.25, and here we will type in Crow, and there we are, Cronos. So we are paying almost 3 pennies for this transaction. I think we can do it. In the meantime, I do have my Trezor wallet hooked up. There are many hardware wallets out there. I would strongly recommend that you use a hardware wallet when you're surfing the blockchain and interacting with any of these dApps. It is that final step of security where you have to physically tap a button, click a button, tap a screen in order to authorize any type of transaction. So I'll just log in quickly here. Here we are. And now we will go back to multi-chain and we will approve the transaction. So my MetaMask already asked me for permission. All we have to do now is choose below, confirm, pair the device, and we have to allow, export, and there we are. Now it's going to ask me to confirm on my actual wallet. So let's do that. I should get some type of pop-up. Do you have a wallet? Yes, I do. What do you do for this session? Well, we will approve this action in order to allow this dApp, multichain.org, to interact with our wallet and potentially take our USDC out and follow through on that action that we're asking for. In this case, we are basically sending our USDC from one blockchain to another. So let's do that now. So the approval has been completed. Now all we have to do is click swap. If you ever want to see more details on the actual transaction that you've just committed to, you can always click on these little pop-ups. They are both in your wallet and as well usually come from the dApp itself. And they basically use that blockchain's explorer to look at the transaction that you've just committed to. We will now swap. That is correct. Our cross-chain fee is $50. Beautiful. Estimated time of arrival is 3 to 30 minutes. I haven't ever seen it go past 3 minutes, to be honest. Most of the time, it's around 30 seconds, especially when there's not a lot of congestion on the blockchain. So let's just click confirm. We have to go through the whole confirmation process again. Yada, yada, yada. Instead of that, we will choose, just in case, low. You can choose high. I'm not in a hurry. Now we're waiting for a pop-up from our hardware wallet in order to confirm. And I did get a pop-up, and I'm just going to be pressing away at the confirmation, and there we are. So it is off to the races. I will come back when this is a little bit further on in the process instead of making you wait throughout this. Success! So as you see here, it only took actually 89 seconds. Now we should, in theory, open up our MetaMask wallet and see on the Binance Smart Chain our funds, our USDC that has been transferred into the Binance Smart Chain. So let's do that. Remember, we're still using the same wallet. It's just that it's on a different blockchain. A very quick way to see how much funds we have is literally right here, our balance. But let's check it out in our MetaMask as well. Hold down to Binance Smart Chain and look at our assets, and oh no, we don't have our assets here. Where is it? Where is it? Well, MetaMask is by default screens basically any tokens from being seen. You have to import the token address in order to see that specific address. Definitely helps with organizing what assets you actually see in your wallet, but at the same time, you sometimes forget the types of tokens and assets that you have on a particular blockchain. Nevertheless, let us go back to CoinMarketCap, and this is how we're going to be importing our USDC token address into our MetaMask. So we type in USDC, we click that, and then here on the left side we see contracts, and the one that is chosen right now is for the Ethereum contract, so we don't want that. We want to see our funds on the Binance Smart Chain or BNB Smart Chain. And here it is. We can manually copy the contract just by clicking copy address, or we can click add to MetaMask. We'll do it the manual way just so I show you a little bit more on this exercise. Copy address. We open up MetaMask then. We go import tokens. We paste the contract. It did find that it is USDC. We click add. It already shows us that we have a balance. Import tokens. There we are. USDC, fine and dandy. In our wallet, waiting for action. So now that we have our funds on the correct blockchain, let's go back to CoinDix and let's interact directly with PancakeSwap. So if we click on it, we see literally that the APY yesterday was 9.41, and right now it has grown up to 47.54. They are trying to entice people to invest, and this is why a lot of these protocols increase their APYs temporarily. Since it is a new position that they opened up, we really don't see a history of how stable the APY has been. So it could drop within a week to 20%, or it could go up. You know, that doesn't matter. In the end, as long as you are in the positive, that's the most important thing. Another factor that we should take into account is as well the TVL, the total value locked. How much money is actually in the protocol for this specific contract? So the higher the value, the better it is. 31,000 is actually quite low. My 1,000 is quite a big bump up in terms of the value that will be in this contract. But it seems like it is a brand new one. And I could just be the first one to take action and take advantage of this. And I can always pull out if I want to. This one is also a pretty big one, as we see, 1.4 million, 1.5 million. It is on Polygon. That's also a nice option, but quite a big difference in the APY that they're providing us. But let's just check on this one to see if it has been stable. No, it hasn't. This is more traditionally the way protocols actually reward you. It is a variable APY. So on the fly, the amount of rewards that you were given changes constantly. And it depends on market sentiment, on the protocol itself, on other types of incentives that the protocol can bring, on marketing, etc., etc. So here, as we see, it was 10%, but then, wow, it dropped down to 3%, 2%, and on and on. And now it's climbing back up. So definitely not desirable. Let's look at something else. Here we have Cream on Avalanche at 13.65%. Let's click on that. Also all over the place, 2%, 3%, 5%. And what's the highest point? 23%. So also not really too stable. The best protocols to find and invest in are ones that are plateauing, that are consistently giving out certain APYs. So at this point in time, we have already committed to this. So let's click on this option. And in the upper right-hand corner, we see TVL. To the right of it, we see this little arrow in boxes. We click on that, and that takes us directly to the protocol and to the page where we can create our liquidity. Okay, so now that we are at the protocol and the actual liquidity page, we have to connect our wallet. Once again, connect. We will click on MetaMask. It will ask us which wallet do we want to connect with. I will choose the correct one. And that's it, that's all. We can double check that we are on the correct one here. Oh, that's right. 3001, 3001. So we're ready to go. Now we can add liquidity. The LP reward is 9.32. Remember, this is APR as opposed to APY. APY is for the entire year. APR is consistent after 1 year, while APY is based on compounding. So if you look at 47.54, if we compound our rewards consistently throughout the year, then we should get 47.54%. While if we do nothing and we just leave our funds there, we will be getting 9.32. That's the APR. And as you see here, it says based on 7-day performance. Okay, so interesting. And we can look at the history of other people as well investing, and how much they invested for and what types of actions they've taken within this protocol. As you see here, people have been swapping 5 for USDT and vice versa. It's all fine and dandy. We are doing our own. So first of all, it needs us to create an LP. LP is basically a liquidity pool. So we have to add funds that are part of that liquidity pool. And the LP here is composed of USDT and Phi. So first, since we have USDC, we have to change our USDC into USDT. So let's do that. We are changing our USDC. Here we are, we have 999, and we will be changing it into USD. How much do we want to change? Well, there's a few things that we have to take into account. First of all, an LP is composed usually of 50% of each asset. So 50% of USDC, or USDT in this case, and 50% of Fi. Since we have USDC in our wallet, we will swap first. We will change our USDC into Fi and USDT. So we'll do 50-50. So let us choose USDC first. I love that sound effect. We will click on the balance, 999. Is that how much USDT we want? Absolutely not. And how much should we buy? Well, hypothetically, I guess we could buy, let's say, $475 worth, but we won't do that. I always try to keep a little bit of extra money on the side just in case I need more gas money. Let's just do $250. We'll do $250 into USDT and $250 into Fi. And this will, as you see here, I already enabled this in the past, this contract. So now all we have to do is simply swap, confirm swap, very little amount of gas fees on the Binance Smart Chain. I do like that. Confirm on the Trezor. Should go through and we'll see this balance bump up to $250. There you go, 248. And now we are also going to make a second swap, and that is for Fi. Do 200 because it was $248 worth, so $245. Let's do that, and we can swap again. Let's do that. Up USDC, and here we are. They're very, very small, negligible, beautiful. We can right away add Fi to the wallet. That's great. Let's do that. Okie dokie. So now that we have both those assets, or actually all three of those assets, we can now create liquidity and actually enter our funds, our LP, into that pool. So we go to liquidity and we will add it, and we will choose USDT, and we will choose Fi. We will choose the entire amount. Beautiful. Choose a valid pair. Choose this much. Beautiful. Confirm both actions, so meaning both approvals. So we've enabled one, we will be enabling another one. That's it, that's all. Now we can supply it. Are we putting in both of these tokens at 50% into this pool? We will say yes. Good. Beautiful. So now we've officially added an LP. This is the LP that's in our token. It's called USDT Fi LP. Beautiful. It is $245.45 is not the actual value of the entire token. That's the value of the LP. And it shows us how much actually, what share of the pool of the entire LP do we own? We own 1.5%, which is quite nice. So LPs let us earn rewards with anyone that interacts with these types of funds. So if anyone is swapping with USDT or with Fi, we get a percentage of that swap. And it's shared between us as an LP provider and the actual protocol, 50-50, which is great. So now we can actually go back here and we see what types of LPs we have. This is kind of our liquidity list. We should also make sure that we're tracking this just in case the APY does drop drastically. Then we can always pull out our LP, break it up, get refunded all the stable coins that we did put in here, so Phi and USDT in this case, and then move our funds somewhere else. It's a bit of a hunting game in order to maximize the rewards, but that's half the fun. Well, that concludes our lesson with creating an LP, with finding rewards in stablecoins that are worthwhile investing in, and waiting until the sky's clear and we can reinvest back into a little bit more positive action in the market and tokens that will bring even higher rewards. Until next time, all the best. So that concludes our lesson today. I hope it did bring you a lot of value. There are many other techniques that we go through in our program. We've created a community of people that share information amongst each other and bring new alpha, new opportunities, and new strategies to the table. I hope to see you again. All the best. Cheers.